10 MMA champs destined to fail. Fighters just love to fight, and the emotional rollercoaster ride of competition is a very addictive feeling. What's more, some fighters are so addicted to competing that they do not know when it's time to stop, even when their time has clearly expired and they can't take damage like they used to. Some fighters still maintain that competitive drive and fire inside them. For many fans, seeing an MMA legend getting knocked out by the younger fighter is a terrible feeling. It's always hard to hear these fighters saying, "I have a couple of fights left in me," while in the reality they don't have any. We just can't escape but asking ourselves how and why. We are not sure if it's addiction or the lack of self-awareness, but there are plenty of fighters out there who simply refuse to give up on their dreams. Want to know about it in detail? Well, stay tuned until the end. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will talk about 10 MMA champs destined to fail. Meanwhile, subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. That being done, let's start. Nico Montano. Nico Montano is an American mixed martial artist who last competed in the bantamweight division of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. She was the inaugural UFC Women's Flyweight Champion. Subsequently, on September 3rd, it was announced that Montano withdrew from the bout due to travel restrictions. In turn, Avila was rescheduled to face Ciara Eubanks at UFC Fight Night 177 on September 12th. Montano was scheduled to face Carol Rosa on February 6, 2021 at UFC Fight Night 184. However, for undisclosed reasons, she was pulled from the bout and was replaced by Joseline Edwards. Montano was scheduled to face Wu Yanan on July 31, 2021 at UFC on ESPN 28. However, due to Montano missing weight by 7 pounds at the weigh-ins, her fight against Yanan was cancelled. On August 3, 2021, Montano was released by the UFC. Carla Esparza. Carla Kristen Esparza is an American professional mixed martial artist who competes in the strawweight division of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, in which she is a two-time UFC Women's Strawweight Champion. Esparza was the first UFC Strawweight Champion, the first Invicta FC Strawweight Champion, and was generally considered the best strawweight fighter in the world during both initial title reigns. She first earned the UFC Championship by winning a 16-woman tournament that was televised on the reality series, The Ultimate Fighter. She also competed in the Bellator MMA's first women's tournament. As of November 15, 2022, she is number 1 in the UFC Women's Strawweight rankings and number 6 in the UFC Women's Pound-for-Pound rankings. Esparza is known for powerful wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. On the mat, she often mounts an opponent and controls her with strikes while seeking submissions. While standing, she typically clinches and attacks with punches, knees and elbows. Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo da Silva Oliveira Jr., commonly anglicized as Jose Aldo, is a retired Brazilian professional mixed martial artist. He last competed in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, in the bantamweight division after previously competing at featherweight, and was the 4th and final WEC featherweight champion. He became the first UFC featherweight champion following the UFC-WEC merger. Aldo is widely considered as one of the best mixed martial artists of all time, and as the greatest featherweight ever, after defending his UFC title 7 times and his WEC title twice. After his MMA defeat in November 2005, Aldo remained undefeated for over a decade, winning 18 straight fights until UFC 194 in December 2015, when Conor McGregor knocked him out in just 13 seconds. He was named Sherdog's 2009 Fighter of the Year. In Sherdog's April 2017 pound-for-pound ranking, Aldo was called the greatest featherweight in mixed martial arts history. Julia Budd. Julia Olivia Budd is a Canadian kickboxer and mixed martial artist competing in the women's featherweight division of Professional Fighters League, PFL. She has fought in MMA promotions, Strikeforce and Invicta Fighting Championships, and is the first and former Bellator Women's Featherweight World Champion. Budd faced Genna Fabian on May 6, 2022, at PFL 3. At weigh-ins, Fabian missed weight for a bout, weighing in at 160.8 pounds, 4.8 pounds over the lightweight non-title fight limit. She was fined 20% of her purse, ineligible to win playoff points, given a walkover loss, and was penalized 1 point in the standings. Budd received a walkover win regardless of bout outcome, but was eligible to gain stoppage points. She lost the bout via unanimous decision. Budd was scheduled to face Kayla Harrison on July 1, 2022 at PFL 6. However, a week before the event, Budd pulled out due to an injury. Budd faced Aspen Ladd on November 25, 2022 at PFL 10. She lost the bout via split decision. Edward Eddie Alvarez is an American mixed martial artist who most recently competed in the lightweight 170-pound division of ONE Championship. He also formerly competed in the UFC and Bellator MMA. winning world titles in each, the UFC Lightweight Championship once and the Bellator Lightweight World Championship twice. Olivares was the first lightweight champion in the Bellator MMA. He has also competed for the Japanese Dream promotion, where he fought in their inaugural Lightweight Grand Prix. Olivares also fought once for Pro Elite's Elite XC. Olivares is the first fighter to have won championships in both Bellator MMA and the UFC. He holds notable wins over former world champions Pat Curran, Michael Chandler, Shinya Aoki, Gilbert Melendez, Justin Gaethje, Anthony Pettis, Edward Folayang, and Rafael dos Anjos. Fight Matrix ranks him number 3 all-time lightweight in the world, behind Khabib Nurmagomedov and BJ Penn. Juliana Pena. Juliana Nicole Pena is an American professional mixed martial artist who competes in the bantamweight division of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, where she is the former UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion. Pena is the first woman to win the Ultimate Fighter. As of November 15, 2022, she is number 4 in the UFC Women's Pound-for-Pound rankings. And as of August 1, 2022, she is number 1 in the UFC Women's Bantamweight rankings. Pena was expected to face Amanda Nunes for the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship on August 7, 2021, at UFC 265. However, Nunes tested positive for COVID-19 on July 29, 2021. The bout was rescheduled to UFC 269 on December 11, 2021. After a dominant round 1 from Nunes, Pena came in the second one to win the bout and championship by rear naked choke submission in what is regarded as one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. On February 5, 2022, it was announced that Pena and Nunes would be the coaches for the Ultimate Fighter 30 on ESPN+, which would feature contestants from the heavyweight and women's flyweight divisions. A rematch against Amanda Nunes for the UFC Women's Bantamweight title took place on July 30, 2022 at UFC 277. Pena lost the fight by unanimous decision. Nobutatsu Suzuki. Nobutatsu Suzuki is a Japanese professional mixed martial artist who last competed in the lightweight division of ONE FC, a professional MMA competitor since 2005. He has also competed for Value Tudo Japan. He was the inaugural ONE FC welterweight champion. Suzuki was to get a shot at the inaugural ONE FC welterweight championship against Adam Qayyum at ONE Fighting Championship. Warrior Spirit, however, on November 11, 2013, ONE FC officials announced that Adam Qayyum was injured and was going to be replaced by Vitor Pinto. However, Pinto was not medically cleared and the bout was cancelled. Suzuki faced Brock Larson for the inaugural ONE FC welterweight championship on March 14, 2014, at ONE FC, War of Nations. He won the fight via unanimous decision. In his first title defense, Suzuki faced Ben Askren on August 29, 2014 at ONE FC, Reign of Champions. He lost the fight and title due to strikes in the first round. BJ Penn. Better known as The Prodigy, BJ Penn was a very passionate and a gifted MMA fighter, even before competing in UFC. Penn was a high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. In 2000, he won the World Jiu-Jitsu Championship, which ultimately led him to compete in MMA. Penn has one of the most accomplished MMA careers. He is the former UFC welterweight and lightweight champion. Also, with 3 successful title defenses, he is one of the greatest UFC lightweight champions in history. Early in his career, Penn moved up to welterweight division to challenge the great Matt Hughes for the welterweight strap. Despite being a massive underdog, Penn found a way to submit Hughes inside the first round and became the champion. From that point, Penn unleashed his killer instincts every time he stepped inside the cage. He was always very aggressive and his fights were never boring. He even faced and lost a decision to the 30 pounds heavier Lyoto Machida in the open weight bout. That's how crazy primetime Penn was. But after losing to Nick Diaz at UFC 137, everything began to fall apart. Penn fought 6 more times in 9 years, losing all his fights. Some of them, like the one against Yair Rodriguez, were painful to watch. After losing 7 in a row and having all sorts of personal issues outside the cage, the UFC released him in 2019. Steve Carl. Steven Joseph Steve Carl is an American mixed martial artist, a professional MMA competitor since 2005. Carl previously competed for Bellator from 2010 to 2011, and last competed in the welterweight division for Absolute Championship Ahmad. He is the former WSOF welterweight champion. In late 2012, Carl signed with upstart Las Vegas promotion World Series of Fighting. His debut came at the promotion's first event, World Series of Fighting 1, held on November 3, 2012, against Romiko Blackmon. Steve Carl won the fight via rear naked choke submission in the first round. Steve Carl defeated Tyson Steele on June 14, 2013, at WSOF 3 via rear naked choke submission in round 1. Steve Carl fought Josh Berkman and won via triangle choke submission in the 4th round at WSOF 6 to become the first WSOF welterweight championship. Carl made his first title defense at WSOF 9 on March 29, 2014 against UFC vet Rusumar Palhares. He lost the bout due to submission in the 1st round. So what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments down below. And that's all for today, guys. If you found this video interesting, make sure to hit the like button. Also subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update from us. Thank you for watching, we'll see you at the next one. Until then, peace.